Hi, it's Paul Clark here, and I just wanted to do another video just to show you about some advanced features within the debugger, the new source level debugger that we've implemented. So we're sitting here on the YOUSRC website looking at the showcase, and I've got an app. It's one of the examples for breakpoints, so we'll just have a little search for it. There it is. And I just want to use this to demonstrate an advanced feature of debugging. Let me just get rid of this window. Right, so it's a little app, and it's just said n is 1, n is 2, n is 3, right down to n is 10. So that's a bit boring, isn't it? Well, let's have a look at the code. The code is always shown underneath. So we've got a start function, we've got a local variable called n. We say for n equals 1 to 10. Let's ignore this bit for a second. For n equals 1 to 10, write n is, and then write the number. And then during that loop we also do another check. We say if n is 7, then we call a function called breakpoint, and that didn't do anything obvious, did it? Because up here it just went 1 down to 10, it didn't stop at 7. So breakpoint is a special function. I just want to show you how to use it. If I now rerun that app with the debugger, as I showed you in the other video around the debugger, we've now got the app window here, we've got the debugger window here highlighting the first line of code, function start, and I'm also going to start watching the variables so we can have a look at that. And then I'll just position this for the rest of this video. Right. So as I hope you know, when you're running an app with the debugger, you control when the lines of code are being run. And you do that using this button up here. So I can run highlighted line. So let's run. It's now saying the next one is the start of the for loop, which sets n to 1. It does a check to say is n 7, which it isn't. So it steps over that down onto this line, and that we know will display n is, like that. And this line will display the actual value of n. There it is, and we can step round that loop, and you'll see the local variable n is changing, and we're updating the message on the screen. Now, quite often you're trying to use the debugger to investigate a very specific problem that you might be having when writing your code. For example, you may be writing a game and everything's fine until a certain part of the game, and what you really want to do is let the game run until you get to that piece of the code that you really need to then start stepping through. And that's what I'm trying to demonstrate here. So what the debugger will do, if I now say free run, as I explained in the other debugger video, that will just run the code as fast as possible. You can stop it at any point by clicking this button again, but that's not very helpful if you're looking for a very specific scenario within your code you want to investigate. What free run will also do is it will stop free running whenever it runs the breakpoint function, and that means that you can put breakpoint as a function call inside your code, and if you run the code in the debugger, it means that the debugger will stop free running when it has executed breakpoint. So if I click free run now, it will whiz around here faster than we can see. It will quickly say 4, 5, 6, 7 down there. In fact, it won't show 7, it will show 6, because when it comes through this loop, when n is 7, before it's displayed n is 7, this will be true, it will run the breakpoint function, and it will drop out of free run mode. So let's do that. There you go. So it said 4, 5, 6, it's run the breakpoint function, and the next it stopped free running, and the next line it would run is this GFX write, and then you can go back into just stepping through. So hopefully that's clear, that you can use the debugger to step through your code. You can use free run to let it run as fast as the app can run. But if you want to stop the app, if you want to stop free running at a certain point in your code, use this breakpoint function, and then when you free run in the debugger, it will automatically stop, and then you can get into some interactive debugging, executing a line at a time. So I hope you found that helpful. Enjoy debugging. And if you have any feedback on this tool, please let me know.